Hey, if you're a real estate agent, would you rather have a high quantity of leads or high quality leads? Well, you may think that kind of answers itself, but we're going to dig into that in a little bit more in depth and really try to break down what is going to serve you best in your real estate career, especially when you're first starting out. So should you rather deal in a high quantity of leads? Does that give you more opportunity? Or does having less leads that are more quality give you a better opportunity? That's exactly what we're going to talk about, and we're going to get into it right now. Hey, if you're a real estate agent and you want to grow your business without cold calling, door knocking, or spending a ton of money on advertising, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current strategies that will help you do just that. You know, my partner Travis and I, we get calls and emails every single day from agents just like you. And you looking for help to grow their business, mainly on YouTube. We absolutely love it. And if you think you could use some help in that area, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Happy to see if we're a good fit. So as I mentioned, which is better, quantity versus quality of leads? Well, you may think with quantity that more is better, right? Well, here's the problem is that the typical agent right now, when they get started, usually doesn't have a lot of money to their name. So whenever they start out, they call their friends, their family, their sphere of influence. They call FSBOs, they call it expireds. They might even possibly door knock and cold call. I mean, just the typical strategies that you do whenever you don't have a lot of money to your name, because the average agent comes into the business with about $5,000 to their name, which means they've got to get to work fast, but they don't have a lot of money for advertising. Well, if you have money for advertising, or those that do, or want to take the risk and spend money on something, Facebook seems to be the platform where most people go to right now. There's a lot of people talking with agents and helping them on their Facebook ads. We actually help our team and our partners as well with Facebook ads because it is a simple and effective way to generate a lot of leads. But that's the issue, is that you get a lot of leads. And what we see is on a $10 a day budget that it usually generates 25 to 30 leads per week, depending on the situation. So you're talking 100 to 120 leads per month. Well, that's a lot of people to call through, and the conversion ratios are around 1 and 3% at the highest. So let's just say an average of 2%, meaning between 100 and 120 leads, you got to talk to all of them to close 1 to 2 deals. So that's a lot of people and a lot of ground to cover to be able to close 1 or 2 deals. And so the problem with Facebook is that we actually have a video on this between interruption and intention-based marketing. It talks about just that, is that people go to Facebook whenever they're ready to make a move, or especially if they're moving across country or they're looking to buy a house. You typically don't say, hey, let's go to Facebook and see what we can find. Let's go to Instagram and see what we can find. Let's go to TikTok and see what we can find. That's usually not the case. So whenever they are on Facebook, you're actually interrupting what they're doing, which is they're just looking to see what their friends and family are doing, maybe catch up on some news, events of the day, things like that. They're not necessarily looking for homes. So whenever they see your ad, a lot of people are always curious. And so that's what prompts them to click on your ad, and then they may fill out your form, and then you have a lead. So they may not be in the market just right at that moment. And so because you basically interrupted what they were doing, but they were curious, so they gave up their information. Well, so now you got to convert that. And that's why it takes 100 to 120 to try to convert into 1 or 2 deals. So that is a lot of time and effort that you have to spend on the phone and working with these people to really see if you can help them out. And then when you get into month 2 or month 3, now you're sitting on top of 2, 3, and then you get to 400 people now, which is good to have in your database, but at the same time takes a lot of time and effort, and anywhere between 7 to 12 touches, which is usually over about 7 months at a minimum to convert those leads. So if you don't have a lot of time to work with, waiting 7 months for a deal could be difficult. Now that's a big difference on YouTube, right? But now we generate leads every single day, a lot less. However, we actually convert at 13% right now. So would you rather talk to 100 people and get 13 deals, or 100 people and get 1, maybe 2 deals? Well, exactly. But the thing is that we're not talking to 100 people at the same time. We may not get 100 leads in a single month. However, let's say we get half of that, 50, and we still are able to close 6 deals. Is that worth it? Well, absolutely. So that's where we're on pace to do. We average between 2 to 5 leads per day from YouTube. But the best thing about YouTube is that people take themselves through the entire sales process. So if you're familiar with the funnel or heard of a funnel, then the top of the funnel is whenever people just find your content. They don't know who you are. They haven't developed a relationship with you. They're finding you for the first time, so they're top of funnel. Now, after they start consuming multiple pieces of content, they start to know you. They start to recognize you. They may even start to develop a relationship with you. And that's what is middle of funnel. So YouTube allows them to move themselves from top of funnel to middle of funnel, because on YouTube, they will find your content on their own. And if they consume a video, YouTube's going to serve them up your next video and the video after that and the video after that. So that allows them to consume multiple videos over a period of time. They will start to know, like, and trust you. And whenever they actually reach out and give you a call, they've moved themselves to bottom of funnel, which means they're coming out of the smallest portion. They've qualified themselves. They've called you now, and it is pretty much game over at that point. That client is going to be your client. They're going to be interested in working with you because they found your content, they consumed your content, and they called you all on their own and all on their own timeline. You didn't have to pay to force them through each and every one of those funnel steps. And that's actually what you have to do on Facebook as well, because even if they find your ad, they may not fill out the form. And then you've got to put them into retargeting ads and chase them all over the internet everywhere, right? And so you're actually kind of forcing them to go from top of funnel to middle of funnel. Then, you're going to always be prompting them with a call to action. And so that's going to push them to the bottom of the funnel. And that takes money every single time you do it. And here's the other great thing about YouTube is you can do all of this for free without any money whatsoever. So that's a pretty unique strategy in itself. But what we have is a lot less people calling us. But here's the other great thing about it is they are calling us. We actually have another video on this, inbound versus outbound marketing, and which is better. Well, would you rather call out 100 times a day to try to get 2 to 5 people that want to talk to you? Or would you rather make a video and then have 2 to 5 people call you every single day? And again, whenever they call you, they already know you, feel like they know you, they already feel like they trust you, they already feel like they want to work with you. So it's pretty much game over at that point. And they will tell you our average conversation when a client first calls in is around 30 minutes, which is unheard of. Think about that. Whenever you call somebody, you've got to try to establish rapport with them and to keep the conversation going. And then at the same time, you call them on your timeline, not theirs. So they could be in the middle of something. They could be distracted. They're not ready to talk. But when people call us, they're calling us when they're ready. So they're probably sitting down. They're with the family or they're with the spouse. They are researching. They are active. They are in the buying process, the researching and the buying process. And that's just the best type of lead you can deal with. So what we're trying to come to the conclusion is that quality of lead is much better than quantity. It may not feel like it, and you may feel like you're not getting enough at first, but whenever you start closing and converting, that's the key aspect, and you'll feel a lot better about that, especially whenever those checks start coming in. So you definitely want to focus on quality. We believe you can do that through YouTube. We don't have time in this video, but definitely click on the upcoming video that's coming up. We're going to walk you through how we made $100,000 in our first 100 days, all free on YouTube, and how you can too. So definitely check it out. Till next time, we'll see you on the next video.